Barakada Yahweh, Barakada Yahushai, Bahasham, Barakahak Wadash, Barakatum. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone who ruled and teach well. And peace and salutations to you sincere Akim out there, pushing this word in truth and sincerity to the four corners of the globe. May you brothers endure until the end. This is the brother Ra'aya with another video. And in this video, I'm going to start it off with a quick clip from the Associated Press's YouTube channel titled Paralyzed Man Walks After Bluetooth Connects His Brain and Spine. And this is just another example of those miracles performed by the beast in Revelation chapter 13. This is Revelation chapter 13. I'm going to start at verse 13. And this beast whose deadly wound was healed and is coming in the power of the first beast, as it says in verse 12, is the last leg of the fourth beast in Daniel chapter 2. Those iron toes mixed with miry clay, the reincarnated Roman Empire, the NATO-EU alliance that the U.S. is a part of, that has a lot of the same practices and customs as the fourth beast before it, the ancient pagan Edomite Roman Empire. Verse 13, and he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on earth in the sight of men. And what that's talking about is those two atomic bombs dropped on Nagasaki and Hiroshima during World War II. Before that time, nobody had ever seen such destructive power. And as you saw, all these other nations got in line behind the United States of America because they didn't want to feel that wrath from the U.S. that Japan felt during World War II. Verse 14, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, dropping atomic bombs on people, the airplane, cars, computers, the internet, and as we're about to see in that clip, devices that are allowing people with disabilities to function normally again, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. These other nations following after these Edomites and their system, turning their countries into democracies, using a lot of the same medical practices and terms that these Edomites use, which a lot of those terms in Edomite medicine and science are in Latin, which the Latin language goes back to Rome, just as having a Senate house and political parties and voting goes back to Rome. People wearing business suits, speaking English, etc., trying to follow after this beast system, making that image so they can hope to be as successful as these Edomites are. But these Edomites didn't get into this position of power by their own volition. They were set up by the Most High to fulfill biblical prophecy. And when you see things like implants allowing the paralyzed to walk again, or any other thing like that, that just goes to show us how close we are to the end of these Edomites being taken out of power, because what they're going to link these other devices to is ultimately to that C-hip, the MARKOFTHEBEAST down in verse 16, which is the RFID/NFC MICROCHIPIMPLANT. Verse 16, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a MARK, which in the Strongs is charagma, in their right hand or in their foreheads. And without jumping too far ahead, the second article I'm going to go into is dealing with Elon Musk's Neuralink, which, as the title says, Elon Musk's futuristic brain C-hip, that mark in the forehead. Startup Neuralink gets FDA approval for human testing that it says represents an important first step. And they're going to use these different miracles, medical and scientific miracles, to further sell that charagma unto the people, to say, look, there's nothing wrong with receiving this charagma in you. in your right hand or in your forehead. Look at what it's doing to these people out here who were formerly blind, deaf, paraplegic, etc., etc. And then what else? We're moving towards a digital cashless society, which is going to be predicated upon that CHIP. It's going to be the middleman between you and these central banks, and you using those CBDCs, those central bank digital currencies, that what? And that no man might buy or sell, get a job, travel abroad, do anything, save he that had the charagma, or the name of the BEAST, or the number of his name. But let's get into this clip. And this is a fair use copyright disclaimer. I do not own any of the footage in this clip, nor do I stand to gain from it monetarily. It is simply for educational purposes. Paralyzed man walks with digital brain link. And it looks big and cumbersome right now, but wait till we get to the end of this clip. There's one point I really want to harken on, which is going to play into my second article dealing with Elon Musk's Neuralink.
Huh?
A man paralyzed by a cycling accident can walk again after an experimental operation by neuroscientists and surgeons in Switzerland. They've established a wireless connection between his damaged spine and brain, which they say has enabled him to stand, walk, and even climb stairs. And this is clearly a miracle that is going to deceive many of the people on the face of the earth, because besides pushing out these pseudoscientific and medical miracles out here, this Edomite has pushed this atheistic evolutionary ideology out here, doing whatever he can to discredit the Bible, to make people think that this is the only life there is out there, so you might as well make the best of it. And if this is the only life, and he's in the position of power right now with all these miracles, scientific, medical, and military, people would naturally look at him as the apex predator, as the top of the food chain. So we should follow after him, in essence, looking at him as God instead of the Most High, which plays into 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verses 3-4. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, or the son of destruction, which has been revealed by the prophets of the Most High, the men of the Lord, chiefly through GMS or Great Millstone, as well as the brothers that come in the spirit of GMS. And that man of sin and the son of perdition has been revealed to be this so-called white man, who is the biblical Edomite. And sin, according to the scriptures, is the transgression of the law, and this Edomite's entire system is completely contrary to the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High, Yahweh, in the scriptures. Verse 4, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called the Most High, or that is worshipped, so that he, as the Most High, sitteth in the temple of the Most High, shewing himself that he is the Most High. And he began doing this when these Edomites came back into power during the Renaissance, which means the rebirth. They did iconoclasm, where they painted over the images of the Most High and his son, whose name is Yahushai. They painted over the images of the Israelites and the angels and made them look like so-called white people instead of what they truly look like, so-called dark-skinned Negroes. But besides so-called Negroes, African Americans, whatever you want to call them, they are the southern kingdom of the 12 tribes. The so-called Latinos and Native Americans are of the northern kingdom of the 12 tribes of Israel as well. But as it says, so that he is the Most High, sitteth in the temple of the Most High, showing himself that he is the Most High. And fast forward to today, he's using his pseudo-scientific and medical miracles to shew himself as the Most High, while pushing, again, this atheistic, evolutionary mindset, this scientific-based mindset onto the people, showing that, look, you can read about miracles in that fairy tale book, the Bible, but have you ever seen it? Those were just fables to give people hope in the afterlife. Look at what we're doing right now. Through science, we're causing the blind to see again, the deaf to hear, the paraplegic to walk, and eventually we'll crack the code to immortality. But now I'm going to go to Mark chapter 2. I'm going to start at verse 1. And the header reads, the paralytic healed. And again, he entered into Capernaum after some days, speaking of Yahushua, the Son of the Most High. And it was noised that he was in the house. And straightway many were gathered together, insomuch that there was no room to receive them. No, not so much as about the door. And he preached the word unto them. And they can't come unto him, bringing one sick of the palsy, which was born of 4, a man who was paralyzed, couldn't walk. And when they could not come nigh unto him for the press, they uncovered the roof where he was, and when they had broken it up, they let down the bed wherein the sick of the palsy lay. When Yahushua saw their faith, he said unto the sick of the palsy, Son, thy sins be forgiven thee. But there were certain of the scribes sitting there, reasoning in their hearts, Why doth this man thus speak blasphemies? Who can forgive sins but the Most High only? And immediately, when Yahushua perceived in his spirit that they so reasoned within themselves, he said unto them, Why reason ye these things in your hearts? Whether is it easier to say to the sick of the palsy, Thy sins be forgiven thee, or to say, Arise and take up thy bed and walk? But that ye may know that the Son of Man hath power on earth to forgive sins, he saith to the sick of the palsy, I say unto thee, Arise and take up thy bed, and go thy way into thine house. And immediately he arose, took up the bed, and went forth before them all, insomuch that they were all amazed, and glorified the Most High, saying, We never saw it on this fashion, a miracle that Yahushua performed through the power of the Most High, Yahweh. And as we read in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 4, this Edomite, the man of sin, the son of perdition, wants to usurp the power of the Most High and sit in the temple and the seat of the Most High, showing himself as the Most High. So first, he pushes the so-called theory of evolution and the scientific method out there to get people to not believe in the Bible and look at it as a fairy tale, a collection of stories. And then through his miracles, which he's received through the power of Satan on the left-handed side, he's created these devices to allow the paralyzed, those that are sick with the palsy, to walk again. So to this godless society he created, he can say, look, what you read about in fiction, we've performed in reality. So follow after me, and I'll lead us into a new golden age, a new age of scientific discovery and whatever they want to push onto the people, which is really just them pushing that NW0, that GREATRESET, that fourth industrial revolution, to deceive those that they should make that image to the beast. And just to back up what I said, that this Edomite gets his power from the left hand, from the spiritual demon Satan. Let's jump down to, let's go back to 2 Thessalonians. Actually, we'll go to it here. Second Thessalonians. I'll start at verse 5. Remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things? And now ye know what withholdeth, that he might be revealed in his time. And back then, during the ancient pagan Roman Empire, which the Apostle Paul and the Son of the Most High Yahushua lived during, it wasn't time for the Edomites, who were the Romans, to be revealed as the biblical Edomites, as the son of perdition, the man of sin. For the mystery of iniquity doth already work, only he who now letteth will let, until he be taken out of the way. And the Most High has allowed this Edomite to, come back into power, beginning with the Renaissance, and deceive the world with his lies and his falsehood, with these miracles. But we are in his time of him being revealed. To show you that, let's say we go to Google Images about 10 to 15 years ago and put in Edomites in the search engine. You might get an image of an Arab or I don't know, some Spider-Man villain or something. But go today to Google Images and put in Edomite, Esau, or who are the Edomites, and images of so-called white people will come up. That's because the Spirit of the Most High has been preached. The truth of the Most High has been preached through the men of the Lord, the prophets of the Most High, out on the highways and byways preaching this word, as well as putting up video epistles like this, breaking down the scriptures in 144% truth and clarity. Verse 8, and then shall that wicked be revealed, the wicked whom the earth has been given into the hands of in Job chapter 9, verse 24, the border of wickedness in Malachi 1, verse 4, which it says the border of wickedness are the Edomites. And wherever you set up your border, hey, that's the territory in which you rule. And when you go to Genesis chapter 27, it said one of Esau's blessings would be the fatness of the earth and the dew of heaven from above, having control of the planet for a season, the earth being given into the hands of the wicked. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, his mouthpiece, the prophets prophesying his word, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Yahushua making his second coming to save the elect of the nation of Israel and put an end to Esau and these other heathens' rulerships and establish the kingdom of heaven. Verse 9, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders. And when we go into that word working in the Strongs, it's G1753, energia, energia, working, efficiency. In the New Testament, used only of superhuman power, whether of the Most High or of the devil. These scientific and medical miracles these Edomites used to deceive the people with. Beginning with their elites, they get this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding from the left-hand side, from the spiritual demon Satan. That's what all that, Illuminati and secret society and conjuring up demons goes back into. But even the spiritual demon Satan doesn't have any free will and is simply following after the dictates of the Most High. He's the top left-handed angel of the Most High, if you can receive it. And the Most High is using him to give these Edomites this knowledge to puff them up so that they can ultimately be brought down by Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai. And with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. And for this cause the Most High shall send them strong delusion, that they should believe a lie. These people following after the miracles of the beast, making that image of the beast, looking at this Edomite as the Most High instead of Yahweh in the scriptures. And a lot of our people, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, who are the true children of Israel, are following after this devil, and you're going to go down right along with him. But let's get back to that clip.
To 10 minutes, I could control my hips, like they were like the brain implant picked up what I was doing with my hips. So that was like the best outcome, I think, for everyone.
And he said to him that was sick of the palsy, get up and pick up thy bed and walk. The 40-year-old Oskam suffered a spinal cord injury in a bicycle accident 12 years ago and was left paralyzed. Surgeons placed electrodes in Oskam's brain and in his spinal cord, connecting them with Bluetooth. That allowed signals from his brain to control the movement of his paralyzed hips and legs.
So when everything is installed, the patient has first to learn how to work with his brain signals, and we also have to learn how to correlate this brain signal to the spinal cord stimulation. But this is pretty short. In a few sessions, everything is linked, and the patient starts training.
Just an example, I'm training 10 years to stand up with a friend having a beer. And that's something I think people don't realize.
The researchers hope to miniaturize, make small the devices to make them completely wearable. Now that's going to segue into my second article on Fortune.com. Elon Musk's futuristic brain C-hip startup Neuralink gets FDA approval for human testing that says represents an important first step. They want to miniaturize the devices so that they're wearable, ultimately inside you. And he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a charagma, Salakia, in their right hand or in their forehead. Elon Musk's futuristic brain C-hip startup Neuralink has received federal approval for its first in-human clinical trial, marking a major milestone for the company with huge ambitions. The company announced the approval by the Food and Drug Administration on Thursday, saying in a tweet that it represents an important first step that will one day allow our technology to help many people. And we're going into June. It's June! The 6th month of this year. And around January, Elon Musk said he hoped to get human trials started 6 months from then. And here we are, the FDA giving his company Neuralink the go-ahead to start human testing. And then what takes place in July, FedNow gets launched, which makes digital payments on mobile and digital platforms. What's that word I'm looking for? Streamlined, which is just a stepping stone towards further rolling out a digital dollar, a CBDC, which is just a stepping stone towards their ultimate goal, rolling out and mandatorily implementing those charagmas. And then, of course, we can't forget this debt ceiling drama that they're trying to get done by June 5th. And whether they pass the debt ceiling bill or not, the U.S. economy is fucked. If they pass the bill, that's going to allow the government to borrow more money, which is what going to further hyperinflate the money, diminishing its value, causing more people to leave the dollar, leading to its collapse. And if they don't pass it, what? Economic turmoil, recessions, depressions, you name it. So the U.S. government is between a rock and a hard place. And best believe this is what the elites want. They want to crash the U.S. and this global system so that, like a phoenix rising from the ashes, they can bring about their new system, their new age, that digital age. The company announced the approval by the Food and Drug Administration on Thursday, saying in a tweet that it represents an important first step that will one day allow our technology to help many people. From Neuralink's Twitter page, we are excited to share that we have received the FDA's approval to launch our first in-human clinical trial. This is the result of incredible work by the Neuralink team in close collaboration with the FDA and represents an important first step that will one day allow our technology to help many people. Recruitment is not yet open for our clinical trial. We'll announce more information on this soon. Musk has pitched Neuralink's technology as potentially helping people who suffer from paralysis, those that are sick with the palsy. And as we can clearly see from that other clip, they've already been working on technology to allow those that are paraplegic to start walking again. And best believe if they're showing us this now, that they're 10 to 20 years ahead of what they actually have behind the scenes. When this devil comes down in great wrath, as it says in Revelation chapter 12, verse 12, he's going to pull out all the stops to deceive the people, destroy the people, and get them on board with his NW0. The technology involves implanting tiny C-hips, miniaturizing the devices inside people's skulls to relay electrical signals from the brain to a computer. Neuralink did not reveal the nature of the FDA's approval or when a clinical trial would begin. It merely said, recruitment is not yet open for our clinical trial. We'll announce more information on this soon. Neuralink is playing catch-up with competitors. It's not just Neuralink working on those charagmas in the forehead. A rival company, Synchron, received approval for a similar trial in 2021. And also you've got another company called BlackRock. It's called BlackRock something biometrics, or BlackRock biology, something along those lines, that have already installed BCIs, or brain computer interfaces, and other devices into people to do trials to help people with disabilities start to function normally again. So like the old saying goes, all roads lead to Rome. Well, all these different roads we're seeing right now are leading to that charagma, that RFID/NFC, MICROCHIPIMPLANT. So that's it with this video. And with this video, I hope you sincere Akim and Akwath were edified. Just keep strong. As we can clearly see, we are almost out of this final wicked captivity of the heathen nations, chiefly of the Edomites, the man of sin, the son of perdition, whose working is after the power of Satan. And as always, I'm going to say Abad Babal, Kwam Yasharala, and until next time, Shalom.